Hi, I'm Jordan, and we are back today to talk about dealing with anxiety. For some of you, anxiety is a common part of your life, and for some of us, this could be new feelings that are coming up in all of the unknowns and the crazy times that are going on. But anxiety, nonetheless, can be overwhelming and debilitating. So let's talk about some healthy coping skills that we can use in our everyday life that will help us walk through anxiety. I want to let you know that through this camera, I can't help you understand why we're anxious or get to that very deep-seated root of the problem. That is definitely something to talk to a mental health professional about if you feel like you need more help. But what I want to offer you are some coping skills that you can just pull out of your back pocket when the anxiety starts to creep up and you want to get yourself back down to a place of healthy functioning in the moment. So we're going to walk through first just a deep breathing exercise. We know that within the body, if we can control our breathing, that helps to calm our central nervous system and get everything to a even par, and that can really help with anxiety. So what I'm going to ask you to do is just get comfortable and practice with me some breathing exercises. And the more you practice, the easier it will be to use these exercises again when you're starting to feel anxious in a tense moment. So the first thing you do is just get comfortable, and you're going to practice breathing in through your nose and blowing it out through your mouth. And you want to just deep breathe all the way down to like your abdomen. So you take a deep breath in for 5 seconds. And blow it out for 5 seconds. You should hear kind of a whooshing sound coming out. If you've ever done any kind of yoga or Pilates, it's the same type of breathing. And if you close your eyes, it makes it a lot more comfortable, maybe less self-conscious, so your kids aren't looking at you like you're a little weird. But I promise, if you can get in the habit when your anxiety starts to rise, just take a couple minutes to breathe deeply, in for 5 seconds and out for 5 seconds. It will help calm your heart rate and really release some of that anxiety. So let's talk about some other good coping skills. One is practicing mindfulness. Mindfulness is being present in the moment without judgment. So it's just finding a comfortable place to observe your thoughts and focus on your breathing. So you could use that deep breathing we just talked about. You could also use mindfulness while taking a walk, enjoying a meal, or sitting on the porch. Being mindful allows you to intentionally see what is around you, noticing your thoughts and feelings, and then you get to choose what to focus on in the moment. Mindfulness is a great practice, but it is just that, a practice. So it's something that takes work, but it's a great way to really stay present instead of letting your anxiety get to a place that you're worrying about the future or things that you can't control. The next one is limiting your intake of media. So my advice to you is to choose wisely which sources you trust. It's not possible or necessary to know all things about COVID. There's a lot of misinformation out there and hyperbole floating around. So set limits on how long and when you consume news. So maybe choosing a time of day or choosing 15-minute intervals so that you are limiting how long you're letting your brain focus on that. I encourage you not to read or watch or listen to the news first thing in the morning or right before you go to bed. Save those times for something more sacred. And also, just so you know, reading the latest news rather than watching it can be a more effective way to control how much and what kind of information you are taking in. Physical movement. Find forms of exercise that keep your body engaged for at least 20 minutes with medium intensity for about 3 times a week. You know, the research tells us that when we are physically active, our brains release chemicals that naturally help us deal with anxiety. So during this time, when we're allowed to go outside and exercise without a mask, I highly encourage you to do that physical movement to engage your mind and body. Speaking of getting outside, vitamin D is great for your body and mind, especially anxiety. If you can spend some time in the sunshine each day, the benefits are numerous. I know that's not always a guarantee with our spring weather, but if you can, get outside, whatever you can do, even if it's just for a few minutes. Gardening, going for leisurely walks with your family, reading in a hammock, picnics in the backyard, all good ways to be outside and soaking up the fresh air and the vitamin D. Call a friend. Just because we're physically distancing right now, it doesn't mean that we need to social distance. And I really think it's important to have that distinction. Connect with someone you trust through a phone call or a meeting platform like Zoom, FaceTime, House Party. I think there's a million of them right now. When you're feeling anxious or stressed, you don't even have to talk about something deep, just call and connect. Feeling lonely or isolated can add to stress immensely, so maintaining contact with others is going to be key during all of this. I do encourage you, however, not just call, but to be vulnerable with somebody. I love Brené Brown, and she reminds us that imperfections are not inadequacies. They are reminders that we're all in this together. Try not to just connect, but to talk to people that you trust about your stress or your anxiety. We don't have to battle these hard things alone. God is walking in this wilderness with us, and the park community is an awesome resource for each one of us to connect. And last but not least, if your anxiety feels unsafe or unhealthy, please reach out for professional help. The staff at the park can offer guidance and, when needed, connect you with professionals that can address your specific needs. We have recommendations and people that are definitely ready to assist if you need anything. So I hope that as you are working through feelings of anxiety during this time, that these can be some helpful coping skills to get you through the day. Remember that you have a team here that really cares and wants to help you walk through this time spiritually, emotionally, mentally. Helping you deal with your anxiety is one way we can do that.